Yes, you can hear me now. Fantastic. Okay, we are gonna do some debates. We are gonna be doing some debates here, and we will be possibly watching some videos as well. Let's see, what is he saying? He says as a guest or to debate. I don't think we can really debate about anything. Let's see what he says. He says he doesn't want to. What's up? What's up? What's up? I am looking for some people that want to debate. Because we were looking before, but we didn't find too much of anybody. Hey, Gigi. Let's see how many people we got in here so far. Yeah, I'm looking for some people that want to debate. Let's pin the debate link down below. Trump is amazing, you're right. Fantastic. If Samson comes on here, we're gonna talk about New York. Oh, that's fantastic. I've seen you in here before. Cadence. I've seen you before, Cadence Music. How are you doing? Let's see if we can add him in here if he wants to come in or not. He's probably just gonna want to come in on voice. So let me make sure it's capturing the voice and everything. Yep. I got the Discord over here. Cool. What's up? What's up, Scott? I'm waiting for Samson. I think we're about to call him in a minute. Hi, Scotty. What's up? Thank you for that Cash App, by the way. I saw that. I appreciate that. If you're available later, let me know. I can add you in so you can debate. Hey, what's up, Frank Cooper? God bless the USA. Yep. Yes, sir. You know what? We'll go ahead and probably play a video for you guys if we can find something of Trump that was recent. Okay, let's watch this real quick. Let's take a look. The meeting in Doha.
Guys all ready? Let's go get them. Well, thank you very much. We have a big ruling that we're just issuing now. It's I think it's very important. Going to lower the price of your car. It's going to lower the price of fixing your car. Has to do with affordability. Has to do with a lot of things. You know, oil prices are way down. We hit $69 today. It was higher than that prior to the denuclearization of Iran fight that we have, which we're doing very well. There'll be a meeting on that tomorrow in Doha, and to go into Qatar. I think they've already left, or they're just about getting ready to leave. So we'll see how that goes. But we're doing very well on that front. But the meeting in Doha
Thank you, Louis, for that gift.
is going to be.
He's not slurring, man. He's speaking crystal clear. Crystal clear. You might want to check your phone, or you might want to check your speaker if you hear slurring. If you hear Trump slurring, you might want to check your speaker. Okay? All right? Can we clarify that? No? Yes? Which woman's right is what woman rights is Trump trying to take away, brother? What exact woman's rights? Please tell me. Please tell me. I'm honestly confused. Very confused. If you want to debate, there you go. There's the link. I'm pinning the message. Does anyone think Biden's economy was better than Trump's? Okay, we're gonna call Samson. I'm gonna call him.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing, man? You're on the stream.
Ah, wonderful.
Yeah,
Hey, everybody.
I'm trying to get some people in to debate in the Discord. I pinned it in the comment section, but on the camera I have three things that I want to debate people about because I've been hearing people really make the claim that Biden's economy was better than Trump's. Zero metrics on that. Trump is better than Biden. That's what I put on screen. Socialism is horrible for all, and the economy is booming. Debate me down below. But how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. We talked earlier, I think.
Yeah, I saw
You're on
you on
YouTube
your
right now?
Mingle, but I didn't end up recording that for whatever reason. It didn't go through. I think I forget to click record on accident. That was really dumb. But yeah,
Hmm.
did you meet anyone interesting on your Mingle?
Actually, I did actually. Yeah.
That one guy you were telling me about, but
Yeah. So I met a couple. I met um this one guy who I guess he's just like probably one of the biggest libtards I've ever seen in my life. And me and him got into a big old argument. But then I met a lot of people who are just like normal, average people, which you don't see a lot of, and I was really surprised. And then of course I met a couple celebrities as well.
who did you meet?
You know Avihu?
Yeah, I met him.
Avihu on
Yeah, I met him.
Yeah, he's great. I love him. But then I got to talking with a couple different people about the situation right now in Israel, and then I talked to a couple people about Judaism, and then just a couple people we just shot the breeze, you know?
Yeah, I went on there and some guy was trying to debate me about the whole Jewish religion, and he was saying that only six, or he was only saying 271,000 Jews died, and literally you can look at Auschwitz. They have the documented record of how many Jews died at Auschwitz, and it's over a million. And he
Well,
kept,
the 271 number comes from the tattoos. The tattoos were only done in Auschwitz-Birkenau for the slave labor. So the Red Cross documented how many slave laborers the Nazis actually kept around for their factories and such. And that's where the number 271,000 comes from. It comes from the amount of slave laborers that were kept, not the people that were marked for death. Because if you think about it, if you're about to kill somebody, you don't tattoo their skin.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah.
didn't think everyone got those tattoos anyway, but he wasn't even from, he wasn't even, he was in Germany. That was the crazy thing. But he was American. So I already got a bad vibe from that, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
But what do you think about that? What is it? Your Congress member that's winning the primaries right now? That's a Palestinian woman.
You mean the woman that wants to open the borders fully? Get rid of borders, get rid of
Yep.
ICE.
Yep. Her.
That one.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think she's a moron. That's what I think, and I think everyone would agree with me.
Do you think we
But
could have
mm,
avoided a lot of problems just by stopping people that aren't born in this country for running for local government, just like we do for presidency?
well, I don't know how you're going to be able to navigate that without infringing on people's rights. But I think that this is a positive step for the Republican Party because the more crazy that the left gets, the more violent and the more hateful and the more insane that they get, the more voters are going to be pushed towards Republicans. You're seeing a massive trend online and in person right now in which people are like, okay, enough's enough. And because the Democrat Party is not offering what they used to do, people are gradually making that switch over to the Republican Party. So I think by Joe Mamdani's candidates winning, I think they just handed the Republican victory in 2028
For New York City or for the presidency?
for the presidency.
New
Because it's
York
not
City's
just New
gonna
York
have in
City.
2029, right? For mayor.
Yeah, but it's not just New York City. You're seeing Democrat-backed socialists all over the country. Some of the most disgusting people on the planet have been winning the primaries all over. So it's gonna come to a point in which people are gonna realize the insanity on the left and gradually make that shift over to the right.
Yeah. Do you think the Palestinian woman's gonna win though?
Likely.
Wow. And she
But if you
wears a
look at the
hijab, and she's gonna be in Congress with Elon Omar.
anybody in the audience, I want you to look at the demographics for who voted for her. It's not the poor people. It's not the people that are actually affected. Who is it? The Champagne Socialists, the college people, all of them.
Yeah, that's crazy. So a lot of nepo babies, basically. I talked to people on New Mingle about immigration, and some of them, especially a lot of the women, the wealthier middle to upper class women, they really don't care what happens as far as open and closed borders. They're
Yeah,
living
well,
in
it's
a
insane
delusional
because
state. They're just living
yeah, they're gonna be
such
the
a
first ones
privileged life.
affected.
They have no idea.
But the way that socialism works, they're gonna be the first ones that are gonna be affected, and then we'll see what happens. I really don't want to have to come to that point where I get to say I told you so. I really hope we don't get to that place, but it seems likely. It's not gonna be feel good though. It's not gonna feel good saying that.
I mean, I debated two guys on it. I think it was on Friday. I asked them. I said, "What do you think's gonna happen when Zohan leaves? Do you think he's gonna leave the city in more debt or less debt?" And both of them, they both supported him, and they both said he was gonna leave the city in more debt, even after they bragged that he paid down the deficit. And that's not what he did at all. He really just got a bailout, but they don't understand the difference.
Well, that bailout's not gonna help much lately, anyways. If you see the way that he's, spending, it's not gonna make much of a dent in the overall. But what everyone is worried about right now is the rent freeze because people were debating its merits back and forth, and overall, it's a horrible concept. But his campaign promise, the only one that he actually was able to deliver so far, is this rent freeze, and it's just gonna have really bad. When I say bad, I mean bad effects on landlords and tenants alike.
Yeah, that's crazy. This guy said the DSA backed candidates winning is a referendum on Israel and APAC. Americans don't buy into it anymore. What do you got to say to him?
What, APEC? It's all a psyop if you think about it. APAC is probably the most inconsequential pack there is. APAC itself, as an organization, ranks 191 on the list of influential PACs. Their entire super PAC, plus the entirety of the Israel lobby, J Street, UDP, all of them combined only make up about 3% of total political lobbying. And that's all the numbers that you really need to know compared to Qatar, UAE, India, even the real estate. I mean, the American real estate pack was even larger than that. So as far as them being an influence on our politicians, they're probably the most useless influence that exists if you see the way that things are going now. And now it's a badge of honor for anybody that doesn't take APAC money while they're getting money from who knows who.
Yeah, a great example of that would be in the state of Florida. I don't know if you heard of him. He's a candidate endorsed by Nick Fuentes. His name is James Fishback, but he criticized Brian Donalds for taking $123,000 from APAC, which APAC receives $0 from Israel, and also the fact that he received $623,000 from a foreign national who is Pakistani.
Euro, it's the biggest psyop in our generation right now.
So it really is. APAC, APAC, APAC. No one cares about Big Pharma. No one cares about all these other lobbying groups. No one cares about American Sugar or any of these other lobbying groups that are trying to harm people.
It's even worse than that. If you look at all these organizations that are promoting all the lies, not just about Israel, but about the Republican Party and all these other stuff right now, there's a common thread here. It's not mainly, but it is majority Muslim. Now, I don't say that lightly. I do look, however, at all the conspiracy theories that are being thrown around online. Israel did 9/11. Jews were slave owners. Actually, the Jews that are slave owners one comes from the Nation of Islam. I'm not joking you. That one comes from the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam is calling other people slave owners. This isn't a joke. This is reality. You have in places in Jersey right now, you see store owners having big shirts. They're advertising their merch in the store that it says Jews did 9/11 in a Muslim owned store. It's like they're trying to take all of their guilt and project it elsewhere while targeting attention away from themselves. Look at Patterson. Look at Clifton. They're being overrun.
Yeah, all this guy is delusional. He says he works and does analytics for a living. I really can't believe that if you can't see the simple fact that APAC is not even in the top 20 most funded PACs. And he says, I love when people try to downplay the influence and impact of APAC and the Zio lobby in the U.S. Laughable.
Listen, they're brain rotted. They're brain
Yeah,
rotted
they are
through and
brain
through.
rotted. They don't care that they're getting fat by American sugar lobbying corporations, but, you know, they got to worry about the Jews.
Hey, you need a scapegoat. You always need a scapegoat.
Yeah, they do
I
need a
stubbed my toe.
scapegoat.
It's Israel. My car broke down. It must be Mossad.
Yeah, must be Mossad or dancing Israelis, as they say every 2 seconds in the comment section.
Hmm.
Thank you,
I can't see
Lewis,
the comment section.
for those flowers, that gift. What do you think about? Do you think the Democrat Socialist Party is going to take over, or do you think it's going to eat itself alive?
I think it's going to eat itself alive. It can't sustain itself.
Well, hopefully they can take some people out like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, I think, is
Yeah.
already retiring, but
What I'm worried about is they're obviously going to make things pretty bad. Who are they going to blame when things get bad, though? They're always going to look for an excuse as to why their failures are not their own.
well, they always have the Jews.
I'm not worried about us. We're going to survive. It's everyone else that's affected. Anybody that supports the Republican Party is going to be a target. Political violence is going to get worse. You know, it's unfortunate, but that's what I see happening.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look at Mamdani right now, right? His initial plans for housing are really badly affecting landlords, right? And he's made the landlord out to be this villain when the landlord is just trying to survive as well, right? He's rising uncapped overheads. All right, so rents are locked at a certain number, right? Property taxes, water, sewer fees, utility bills, all that stuff, they're not included in the freeze, right? All right, now landlord operating expenses. I think the number was 6.3. It went above 6.3 between 2024 and 2025, and that's what he inherited, right? The effect that it's going to have, that this freeze is going to have on landlords, is cannot be ignored. All right, bills are going to start piling up. They're going to get more expensive. while their method of revenue is going to be completely dried up. There's going to be loss of collateral. There's going to be uh, more building deterioration because there's no way for them to actually be able to afford it. They're going to have to cut back on expenditures. They're going to probably have to fire building staff, superintendents, maintenance crews,
Yeah, why do
and
they
this is what
think socialism is gonna work?
no, they're basically going to be trapping poor people in badly maintained buildings while the landlords can't afford to fix them. That's what this is going to do. And when this problem gets worse and worse, I'm worried about who they're going to blame. They're going to direct that anger somewhere,
Who are they gonna direct it at? The Republicans?
either the Republicans or the people that are middle class in the city,
So what neighborhoods are they gonna go after?
the middle class neighborhoods. Now, that's not going to be much in the Bronx or Queens, but maybe some areas in Queens, maybe some areas in Brooklyn, maybe some areas in Flatbush, maybe some areas in Staten Island, even. But the effect that it's going to have is probably going to bubble over in the city itself, in Manhattan. If I had to guess, this is going to be this is probably going to be a catastrophe of epic proportions. But again, the only silver lining of it is that people are going to be so frustrated that they're going to be forced into the arms of the waiting Republicans to say, "I told you so."
Well,
So
I don't even think they know what socialism is to begin with, but they glaze it every single day. They say they love it, yada yada yada.
yeah, well, when it comes to socialism, when it comes to communism, I think it's something that every generation has to touch their finger to the fire in order to get burned, so they know not to do it again. Because people they want free, they want better, and they don't want to have to work for it. And that results in them saying, "Okay, maybe we can make it work this time." And guess what, Graham?
It doesn't work.
Yep, you know it better than I do.
I'm trying to read what they're gonna say in chat. Yeah, most New York landlords have lead paint. This is a cost to remedy that is expensive. Did they really have lead paint? I think it's bullshit, isn't it?
I'm not in tenements, I wouldn't know, but I don't think so. No,
Lead paint was banned like a long time ago on a federal level. I'm pretty sure, like in the 70s. So unless you're talking about like the 1970s, I don't know what to say.
well, building safety has gone up, since 9/11. That's just a fact. A lot of people realized about the asbestos pretty early on, and then the lead paint came along way earlier than that. A lot of the buildings are old, but most of them had modern renovations in the last 10 years. Now, the buildings that they want to build, though, they are not going to be maintained at all. So you're basically building new buildings to collapse. Not collapse physically, but collapse in upkeep.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot of stuff going on. But a little bit off topic, but I love all these people in the comment sections like talking about putting stuff off on people and a little bit about, Marxist and whatnot. We already know what they wanted to do. But uh they have like, Netflix has all these new cartoons that they're putting on there, and there's 15 cartoons on there that are all transgender related that children watch. And the funny thing is, Netflix is actually owned by a Catholic, but I'm not trying to point fingers or anything because I think that's just a stupid game to play. But that is definitely something to think about. They're still pushing that agenda. And I can only imagine in New York when they're saying their Pride Month. Is there any freaky stuff you ever seen?
That's all in the city. We kind of try to stay away from that kind of stuff. Um, this is nothing new. All right, back from during the Obama years when they tried forcing Catholic and religious private schools to supply female, items and regulate access to abortion and all that other stuff on college campuses. This is nothing new. It always was. It started off as an attack on religious institutions, and then it gradually became something way, way worse. Why does there people exposing themselves on the street? Why? Why? Why is that ever something that should be allowed? And you look at these people, and they're not the most mentally stable. We used to have places for these people. Remember, Graham? You
Yeah,
remember Euro?
yeah, no, I do remember. I do 100% remember, but nowadays they just say that they're part of the LGBTQ AI plus community.
Mhm. I think a friend of ours once mentioned a very interesting statistic. The rates of schizophrenia and other associated mental illnesses, the number from back during the 90s went down while LGBTQ identification went up. Is there a correlation, you think?
Probably. We already know that body dysmorphia or whatever they want to call it is in the DSM-5, and the DSM-5 is just a manual of mental diagnoses. So that means they all have to have mental illness. That's what I say, at least. Maybe it's not schizophrenia, but they all have mental illness, and most of them admit to it.
Yep. But most of the neighborhoods are pretty, clean of all this stuff. It's only the occasional parade or event or whatever it is that happens. It usually happens in either Queens or in the city, in Manhattan. Most of us try to stay as far away as we can from it. If you look at the demographic makeup of a lot of New York City, there are a lot of Hispanic people that they don't really care for this stuff just as much as everyone else. And so their neighborhoods, they don't have it. They're very religious over there. Certain places like in Harlem and in the Bronx, you won't see it as much either because, again, people over there, they don't really tolerate it. It's only in places that you have a high concentration of people that are upper class as well as somewhat narcissistic in the way that they are believers that socialism and communism can work. But whenever you won't see these people leaving their ivory towers to come to the other boroughs of New York to try and push their nonsense. You won't see it that often. But they have been getting more and more aggressive, and so the pushback has to be equal in response.
Yeah, I can almost see like something like a civil war happening in New York, but there's not that much really conservatives.
Yeah, I know who'd win.
Who, the conservatives or the liberals?
The Democrats.
Oh,
All
they
right,
would win.
not the liberals. The Democrats, meaning the people that are registered Democrat, because in New York City you practically have to be registered Democrat in order to actually have a meaningful vote. Most New Yorkers will not tolerate. And if you've ever seen the movie Bushwick, you know we know how to fight back, and we definitely will. You're seeing ever since the Supreme Court case that allowed people to sue the state of New York for gun licenses, the
Yeah,
number of private citizens owning guns in New York has gone up exponentially.
but I thought they weren't honoring that. I thought they were still arresting people.
Well, for gun ownership,
Yeah,
no. The way it works now is that you fill out the forms, you get your fingerprinting done by one police plaza. You have to wait about 7 months. You got to harass them every single day, and then after a specific deadline, you sue them, and they legally have to grant you your license.
but I don't. Has anyone done it yet?
Oh, plenty of people, plenty of people. Half my neighborhood, in fact.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. So you literally have to sue
Um,
them. But what if a cop pulls you over? Then what? They give you
I,
a identification card or a permit for your gun, right?
yeah. So the way that works in New York is that you have to conceal carry. You cannot publicly carry, and if you get caught not concealed carrying in front of a police officer, they will arrest you because that is a violation of the statutes of New York City. As far as carrying it in your car, those laws are a bit more tricky. It has to be locked in a safe under the either under your seat or under the passenger seat. And I don't
In a
think that there are
safe? That's crazy.
no, not like a full on safe. I'm talking about a gun case. There's like these
Okay.
gun case safes,
Mhm.
so you can't just have it accessible in your car. You have to have it in the safe. I believe there's similar statutes if you want to travel across state lines with the firearm.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that though. I didn't know people were actually getting their gun rights back.
Well, people don't really know about this. So only the middle class people really know about this, and it's only the middle class people that can actually afford because it is expensive. The entire process before you even buy the firearm can cost you up to $800.
To sue them?
No, no, that's before you even. Oh, yeah, sorry. You know that to sue somebody, it doesn't really cost that much. It costs like 150, $200.
Yeah, but you have to hire a lawyer. Doesn't that cost money, or are they
No,
representing
you don't.
themselves? They're
No, you
representing
don't.
themselves?
You don't even have to represent yourself. It costs. You can do it online nowadays. It's pretty easy. It's
Yeah.
not hard at all.
Yeah, no, I know, but like eventually if it goes to court, like if they come to court,
It doesn't go to court.
it never goes to court.
No, it costs the city too much, and they legally have to once you sue. So there's
Oh,
no
so all
point.
you do is have to pay like $150 to sue then.
Yeah, well, the actual process of submitting your paperwork, getting fingerprinted, and then the background check, they charge you about $700. Sorry, $600 to $700, and then it costs you about $200 for the lawsuit, and then to buy a firearm, it probably costs you about 1,500. So it's expensive. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
The way I see it, it gets guns into the right hands, not into the wrong ones.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of beneficial because a lot of people out there would probably just, especially in New York, it's not really the highest quality of people, especially after all those migrants were brought in. You don't want one of them to go to the gun store and just use one of their fake social security cards that are stolen and get one and walk out.
Well, there aren't really any gun shops in New York City itself. You have to go out to the country for a bit.
So you have to go to upstate or what?
Upstate, Albany, you could go to the Catskills. You could go to pretty much anywhere outside the city. You can probably go find a gun store. It's not that hard actually. It is a little bit of a travel, but hey, it's worth it.
Shit, man. They're at least finally
Yeah.
giving people their rights back. That's what matters.
2 months ago, when they started marching down our streets, the pro pally mobs, all right, you had about half the people that came to fight them were armed. And so Mamdani knew he had to dispatch as many cops as possible because there was going to be a bloodbath if they
The
didn't.
Palestinians were armed?
No, 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 no. The communities,
No, the
communities that
communities were.
marched down. That's why they are lucky. They are absolutely freaking lucky that the NYPD was there. Otherwise, it would have been really nasty for them.
On average, each Somali person is a net fiscal burden of $20,000 per year on a taxpayer basis. That's crazy. Are there any? Are there a lot of Somalis in New York?
I wouldn't even know.
I don't think so,
They're all kind.
honestly.
Yeah, no. The most of the people that we get are from either um, countries that are like Syria. We get a couple of Pakistanis, a lot of Pakistanis actually. Um, you get some other smaller countries. I met a Mauritanian yesterday. And then you have a lot of Hispanics, which, if anything, I like the Hispanics more.
Yeah, no, they are. Most of them are Catholic.
They're religious, they're nice people, they're clean, they keep to themselves, they're hardworking. Why would you not like them?
But
Now,
I noticed
with every
today.
single group, you come with a lot of criminals as well, though, and so we have to weed them out. Then again, there's a lot of less jobs than there used to be in New York City, and a lot of lower, I guess they would call them menial labor jobs that, let's just say they're drying up. They used to be in abundance, now there are not so many of them.
No, I watched Wissam, the guy from Palestine. He lives in Sweden now. I watched him talk with Dershion today, and
Wasim,
I love the fact.
shout out to my boy Wasim.
Yeah, I love the fact that Dershion I love the fact that he also liked that he left Islam even though he's a Christian now, even though he's not a Jew. We still both have that one thing in common that we're glad that he left Islam. Even though he came to Christianity instead of Judaism, he's still happy for him.
Dude, the highlight of my day is when he texts me and tells me about all the haram he did. I'm telling you, it's the highlight.
What haram did he do? Eating bacon?
He was telling me about how let's just say he got to town with somebody
Oh
while
no,
also drinking champagne. So I guess that's a 2 for 1.
that's very haram, and that's in general that's really against a lot of
Yeah,
religions.
I love that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, I wish he would come on stream with his face out though. It would be cool to have a Palestinian in here. That's what I'm trying to get
Yeah, it's probably for the best though. We don't want him to get
in trouble.
you know.
Yeah, but I'm sure there has to be someone out there, especially on Umingle. If you find any Palestinians that seem cool that you think would come on camera, you should get them to come in the Discord.
I know a couple, but they're all Israeli Arabs.
No, someone that either someone from the West Bank or someone from Gaza.
Yeah, fat chance of that.
Fat chance of that.
We should get a Lebanese guy on though.
Why? Oh, because I just saw the new deal between Israel and Lebanon.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They really allowed Israel to come stay in Lebanon. I thought the leftists were screaming that Israel was taking over.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good deal because it forces Lebanon to help to eradicate the problem on their own with Israeli support, as opposed to Israel doing it on their own with Lebanese support. Yes, I know the people are going to comment and go, "Oh, it's not entirely." Yeah, but the idea over here is that it should be a homegrown force accompanied by an Israeli force. Now, everyone knows Hezbollah is not going to disarm. There was a provision there. Is not going to happen, and so either what happens going to be is they're going to lose their supporters by the thousands, or they're going to have to be eradicated once and for all. Hey, Euro,
Yeah.
you know, you saw anything about Somaliland lately?
No, what happened?
No, we got to get the U.S. to recognize them
Why?
because they got a lot of good minerals and they're currently in the position to destroy Al Shabaab in Somalia.
Well, I don't think
Once we
they're
get rid of
gonna. I don't
them,
know. I don't know.
how do you feel about some of that embezzled money in Minnesota going straight to Al Shabaab?
That's messed up, but that's our fault for letting those people in.
You think once we clear out all the terrorists from Somalia, we can deport Ilhan Omar back there?
We can deport her back there now.
Not when she's a refugee.
We just need to take her refugee status away.
Yeah. How much money do we think she has actually?
$90,000.
That sounds a little low for a congresswoman.
I don't know. Either that or millions of dollars. Why do ICE
Whatever happened?
agents suck?
You asking me?
Yeah. I'm asking everyone.
Ice agents. Ice agents don't suck. Ice agents are awesome.
So what do you think about ICE coming to New York City?
Let them come, please. Please come to New York City. I will open the gates, just like my people opened the gates of Toledo. That was a joke for people in the comments. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. I feel like I have to explain now. Okay, the Visigoths lost the Battle of Tulane, and the city was completely laid empty. And so the Muslims were advancing on the city, and since the only people left in the city were a couple of Jews, they were like, "Okay, we don't want to die," and they opened the gates. But everyone's like, "Oh no, the Jews betrayed the city."
Someone said,
Learn your
"How
history,
are
folks.
kebabs over at El Shabab?" Shabab.
Yeah.
He's trying to be a smartass and make a joke.
Listen, I'm not against ICE. I think ICE has a very vital job to do. I think that the more people resist against it, the harder it's going to be for those people that are actually going to be detained and deported. You're not helping them, you're making it worse for them.
Yeah, you are making it worse for them. It's normally the people that, if you ever notice, it's the people that cry that are just the American citizens, like the nepo babies, the same people that vote for Zohan. But the illegal
The
alien
people
immigrants never, like, you barely ever see them complaining or crying as much as the libtards.
We're living in the age of virtue signalers and moral uncertainty, where people feel like they have no purpose in their life other than to advocate civil justice like their people did before them. All right. When you come from a line of people that defeated slavery, that defeated segregation, that defeated the colonialist British, you come from all those defeats, right, all those wins against those horrible things. You come against the people now that want to say, let's take it a step further and destroy the fabric of American society, which I get where it's coming from. It's very misguided, however. They want to be the social justice warriors that we had in the past, so they take it out in the wrong places.
Yeah. No, they always want to be social justice in the wrong places. They're always bleeding hearts. They always say, "Oh, we just want to help people. That's why we want socialism. We just want to help people. Just give them money. That's how we can help them." How are you going to help someone just by giving them a stack of money? If you give them $50,000 tomorrow, nothing's going to change. In a couple of years, they're going to be maybe probably in a year, probably in 5 months, they'll be back in the same spot. Like, what do you think about
All the
that?
bleeding. You're right. You're 100% right. I do want to say, though,
Mm-hmm.
America has done some amazing things for the world, and some of it came from the right place, but it was done wrong. We can accept that. But when it comes to the Middle East, it's not like every other place we've been to. When we destroyed Japan, we rebuilt it back up. It's now great. When we destroyed Germany, we rebuilt it back up. Now it's great. When we went into the Middle East, however, and we destroyed it, and then we tried to build it back up, we failed. Is that America that was the problem? Or was it the people there? I know that's a bit of a bold thing to say, but
Well, apparently
it's a good
America's the
question.
enemy to all these leftists. If you ask them, America's a terrorist country.
I want one of them to go and live in the Middle East and see what they say in a year. I find it funny, however, that all these Europeans that came for the World Cup, they're now all gushing over the United States about the amazing things that we have here, all the marvels that we've created. You saw them going into Red Lobster, you saw them going into a Costco. Their little brains just almost destroyed themselves.
Listen how angry this guy is. He says, "Bleeding hearts, you're crying every time that orange piece of garbage almost gets killed."
And you're cheering. So what does that say about you?
Yeah, really. What does that say about you?
Apparently, you don't value human life as much as you think.
Apparently not at all. Apparently not at all.
Literally. Remember a year ago, whenever a murdering piece of crap from MS-13 would get deported, and they would go, "No, you can't deport him. He has a family." Yeah, yeah, I don't care about these people anymore.
Remember when they didn't stand for the kids with cancer because the kid was 12 years old and he had cancer, and they were saying, "No, we're not." They were all clapping and cheering for him, and the Democrats refused to stand.
They're evil. They're straight up evil.
Yeah, he had
And they don't
cancer
even know
all
they're
because he
evil.
was
That's
a
the
fan of
problem.
Trump and he was at the White House. They wouldn't stand or clap for him. And I even saw some Democrats online laughing and saying they can't wait for him to die of cancer and all this other fucked up shit. And he was a 13-year-old boy. And you're gonna tell me that these people are not mentally fucking ill and that they're just normal and that we're the extremists and not them when
Yeah,
they
but they always
laughed at a
propagate that,
13
don't
year
they?
old boy with cancer and they wouldn't stand up for him.
They're sick. They're sick in
And
the
look,
head. They
now in the
have a brain
comment section, they're,
disease.
they're bragging about how they unalived Charlie Kirk, and they're bragging about it.
They're saying they unalive Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, they're bragging about it.
I think they need to pick a lane on who killed Charlie Kirk.
Well, I don't know. They apparently they can't. They said one minute they say the Jews, next minute they're bragging about it.
I love how people celebrated Charlie Kirk, and then now they're having opinions about what kind of a person he was and who killed him. You cheered for his death. You killed him. You had a part to play like every other else that was cheering for him. You think you're absolved of guilt? Your hateful messages got him killed. You have blood on your hands. That's it. Plain and simple.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. His wife has part, just got proven Mossad agent. Do your research. Who are you talking about? Erica Kirk? Who are you talking about? Erica Kirk? You think Erica Kirk is a Mossad agent? What do you think about Erica Kirk?
I think she's a very courageous woman that's been vilified, and people are gonna crowd around and shout at her. But at the end of the day, they're gonna be the ones going down, down, and she's gonna be one of the ones going up, up.
This guy said these libtard influencers on social media platforms celebrating Charlie Kirk's public political assassination. Like, what the actual.
They better
Is
hope
there any
that the
way I
right
can
never gets
call in and
politically
turn
violent.
some libtards MAGA? Yeah, join that Discord. The link down below. That's how you can turn some libtards mad.
Euro, they better pray to whatever they believe in that we don't ever get politically violent. They better pray if they even know how to.
Yeah, I am 100% with you.
And as for Erica Kirk, I want to see all these feminists that are saying girl boss energy. I want to see them actually acknowledge that she is a female leader of a massive company. Have you seen any of them do it?
Huh?
Have you seen any of the feminists congratulating Erica Kirk on being the CEO?
No.
Huh. That's funny. I thought we celebrated women in the workplace.
No, they don't. They don't like. They don't like. They don't like Erica Kirk. No, that's not what feminism is about. And feminism is bullshit, dude. Men and women are
You
not equal.
think?
I'm sorry. And I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to speak for you. I'm not going to speak on your religion too much, but I'm pretty sure that's how Christians and Jews both feel
Well,
if you
both
really
Christians
read the
and Jews,
Bible.
though, we believe that we're both created in the image of God, but we both
Yeah,
have different.
different
Men and women have
roles.
different
Yeah,
roles.
exactly.
Doesn't mean we're
Exactly.
not equal.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
We're
that we're not
equal in
equal. We have
responsibility, but
equal
there's
human
different
rights
responsibilities.
and we have equal value.
There's an old saying that if you give a woman wheat, she'll turn it into bread. If you give a woman flax, she'll turn it into cloth. If you give a woman a home, she'll turn it into a house. Sorry, you give a woman a house, she'll turn it into a home. Men are the creators, the women's are the ones that fill it.
No one knows Trump's religion. He converted in 2020. What do you think about that?
I'm pretty sure he goes to church quite often, and he's probably been one of the, well, at least in my lifetime, he's probably been one of the most Christian presidents. At least he put his hand on the freaking Bible when he got sworn in.
They say, yeah, that's what they say. They say he didn't put his hands on the Bible and that Mark Levine joked and said it was his favorite Jew.
Mark Levin made a joke.
Yeah, he
Well, I
said
guess it
that
must be
Trump
true then.
was his favorite Jew.
Well, if Mark Levin said it, I guess it must be true, right?
I guess, yeah, it has to be. That's the
Hey,
Democrats' logic.
everyone in the comments, if Trump loves Israel and Jews so much, then how come he agreed to negotiate with Iran?
Because he loves Iran more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it said that someone in the comment keeps spamming. Supreme Court said E. Jean Carroll is gonna get ran her money.
Who?
E. Jean Carroll! E. Jean
Oh, the
Carroll.
lady that, yeah, that lady. I don't want to judge, but have you seen her lately?
Yeah, I seen
I
it.
mean, those allegations sort of dismiss themselves. I mean, have you seen her?
No, not exactly.
You might want to take a look, Euro.
Why? What happened?
You'll understand when you see her.
Is she a trans man?
She may be. But I
And
want to know how come she waited this long until Trump was in the race for president in order to go and bring these accusations forward. Was he not rich enough before then?
huh?
She only brought her allegations now. How old are her allegations, though?
Like,
She said it happened when? Like what, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? I'm just saying, he's been rich all this time. You suddenly choose a presidential election for you to make your accusations?
I guess so.
They're grasping for straws, man. They're grasping for straws.
So why? What do I look up? E. Jean Carroll photo, and it's gonna show that she's a transgender now.
Well, it might not exactly show that, but you'll see something.
Let me see. E. Jean Carroll. Where on Instagram or where should I look?
You can just look on Google.
I just type in E. Jean Carroll. It says that she beat Trump or
Carol.
something.
Mm-hmm.
So
E. Jean Carroll.
it says Trump
Take a look at
lost
those.
his defamation case.
Look at the images.
Images. Okay, hold on. Images. What about her? I don't see
Would you look
anything.
at that image
Which image?
of E. Jean Carroll?
Which one? I'm looking at them. I don't see any images of her.
What'd you type in?
E. Jean Carroll in Google images. I just see a lady with a suit, Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, okay, she went to Supreme Court. What about it?
Never mind, Euro.
I'm lost, dude. I'm just lost. Like, I thought you were supposed to be defending Trump or something.
Dude, if you can't tell what by either by how she looks or by the age of her accusations that it's BS.
Well, she looks like she's kind of lying or something, I guess, if that's what you're trying to say, but I don't know how am I just gonna.
No, dude. I'm saying she's like a a troll.
She looks like a troll. I mean, if you're trying to say she looks like a troll, I guess.
Okay, we
Lo-
all know what kind of woman that Trump used to hang around with when he
They
was
said
younger. Come
Trump
on.
was never rich. That's why he committed bank fraud. You guys think Trump was never rich? Who is this person and why are they so grumpy? This person is Samsung. That was Chris that dropped the $2 super chat and said, "Who's this person?"
I'm not grumpy.
Are you?
Nah, I don't get grumpy. I may get sneezy, but not grumpy.
Sneezy but not grumpy? Sleepy? Who? What happened between your Palestinian debate with Chris? Who won?
It's still ongoing.
But who won? Who's winning?
We both conceded to certain things, and it's sort of at a draw right now, actually.
What do you think about the settlers?
Which ones?
The ones in the West Bank?
Area A, Area B, Area C.
Well, isn't Area C under Israel's jurisdiction?
Yeah, and then Area B is sort of half and half, and then Area A is under Palestinian
So what about the
or
Palestinian areas? Are there settlers in there or no?
well, it's their areas, and then you have settlements next to them. And if you look at the chart of where the settlements are and where the Arab settlements are, you'll see that it's sort of like a bunch of combined dots in a lot of different areas with closer, um, what's a word when there's a bunch of them together? You see a bunch of clusters around areas like Jenin, like Ramallah, like East Jerusalem. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, we need someone in the chats below to drop super chats. I mean, not super chats, well that too, but also to drop the Discord link. I mean, because the Discord doesn't work for whatever reason. You were saying about the West Bank. Sorry, I kind of lost the last 5 seconds.
you know what I'm saying is the West Bank's dotted with different villages. There's the Israeli villages, there's the Arab villages. They're all a bunch of mix. They're all mixed together.
So you think it's weird that Ben Guyver just says if you want to come to Israel and you're Jewish, you can just settle over here
Well, settle where?
in one of the areas in the area C or one of
Yeah.
those places.
Well, under the Oslo Accords, those places are legally Israel's.
But didn't the West Bank violate those anyway?
Yeah, but Israel's still holding to the Oslo Accord. They're still recognizing those places.
There's no winning. Lol. Samsung teaches me a lot, not to be corny, but for that reason, I win knowledge on which I'm learning.
Was that Chris?
Yeah, that's Chris.
Chris, my man, you're awesome. I love you. Mm. Yeah, Chris is probably gonna call me in like a half an hour, and we're gonna hash it out again.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. You should do it in the Discord again. A lot of people were enjoying that apparently.
No, the thing is, me and him can have a conversation like that because he's a rational, level-headed guy, and I like to think that I am. So, you know, we get along pretty well. In order to have a conducive debate, you have to be able to give and take, and that's something that's lacking in today's world. Is that no one ever wants to concede anything. No one ever wants to go and say, "Hey, I have to admit this, and you have to admit that." As long as there's this place where you're between a rock and between another rock, you're never going to be able to get anywhere. Now, I'm happy the conversation's still happening, but the conversation's not going to be productive if neither side can be honest with each other.
Honestly, I want to know why people like Chris and people in the comment section all of a sudden think that Christians worship Jews. I already made the argument before earlier when I was on Umingle. I said technically um, Christians and Muslims both worship Israel because there's many holy sites there, and also even Muslims and Jews pray at the same place on Temple Mount. I mean, technically, but they're like right next to each other, right? So it's a holy site for both of them. But I
Well, yeah,
guess
you got
people
the
just
Mosque
look
of
at it
Omar and
differently.
Al Aqsa on top. You got the Western Wall underneath it, and then right across you have the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, all within the same mile. So, yeah,
Yeah, so
that's where
they
we foster unity.
yeah, so they just don't see it like that. They don't see it as them fostering unity, I guess, because people don't know shit about Israel. And they just say, "Oh, Christians worship Jews," or any MAGA person just talks to a Jew and they automatically like them. Like, no, there's plenty of Jews that I don't really like. Like, especially when I'm scrolling on Umingle, some of them I don't know are just really annoying, so I just skip past them. But it's not like an automatic like or hate thing. I treat everyone equal. But I just think it's funny that they think that.
Yeah, it's a fair point. You're not going to like everybody, you're not going to hate everybody. And as long as we get and be able to realize that every group has bad people and every group has good people, we should be okay. This is something that
Oh,
I
here
hate
we go.
about
Here we go.
yeah.
Here's what Chris said. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going. Go ahead.
Oh,
What did
read
you
what Chris
hate?
said.
What did you hate?
No, no, read what Chris said.
He says, Graham, respectfully, I think you guys make Zionism an ugly thing. How so? Because I believe Israel has a right to exist. Even Zohan Mandami, he even admitted that he's in some form a Zionist. He doesn't believe that Israel should be a non secular country, but he believes Israel has a right to exist in a secular country kind of way. And I would make that the argument, even though they are mostly ran by Jews, they are still a secular country because there are Muslims in government and there are Muslims that are in the IDF and Arabs. So I don't
and
know.
Muslims in the Supreme Court.
So I don't know how I make Zionism look ugly. I'm like the opposite of what you think that Ben
Okay,
Guyver's
well,
Zionism is. Like I don't have
Euro,
evangelical or religious.
Euro, Euro.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's Gavir. You say
Gavir,
Guyver again, I'm gonna get upset.
Gavir,
It's
Gavir,
Gavir.
Gavir. Yeah, he thinks he has this type of Zionism where he wants to make a greater Israel, like a biblical Zionism. I don't have that.
But that's not what Zionism is.
Well, there's a
Zionism is
certain type,
actually,
yeah, but there
you
is
know
a
it's what
different.
it's translated
Yeah,
as.
Zionism is just the right for Israel to exist, but there's a different type of Zionism. It's called like religious messianic or something Zionism
Well,
that believes in
Zion literally,
expanding Israel.
Euro. You know what the word Zion means? Literally translated,
No, what does it mean?
it's a sign.
Sign, and that's in Hebrew or what? What language?
Well, the Hebrew would be, Tzion, but literally it means like a sign or like a landmark, right? It comes from a language of like we call it a shorish, which means a root word, which means like it's meant to emphasize, meant to designate that this place, this land, specifically the holy city of Jerusalem, specifically, it's a sign, a place for God. Now, for Jews, that is our temple. For the Muslims, it's their mosque. For the church, it's their church. But Zion, is Jerusalem, the land of Israel, the homeland for the Jewish people. And in Christianity, that would be the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. So when you talk about Zionism, Zion is just literally translates to that meaning. So anybody that wants to say Zionism means expansion, Zionism means persecution, Zion is a sign of God. God made a promise to Abraham, repeated that promise to Isaac, and then repeated that promise to Jacob, and then led the people into the land.
And do you think, I mean, this guy was asking me all kinds of crazy questions. He was asking me, oh, do you think that, he was asking me about the chosen people. I'm not even going to get into it because that's just a religious based debate. But I thought that was kind of crazy
Well,
he was going
you could
at.
just ask him. You could just ask him. Do Christians call themselves the chosen?
Well, that's
Do
what he was
Muslims call
asking me
themselves the
about.
chosen?
He was asking me
Every
about
group calls themselves
he was
chosen.
asking me about who the Christians think they are chosen, and I told him because Jesus died on the cross, we believed all of our sins were washed away, and we don't have to follow Old Testament
Yeah,
law, and that everyone is God's child.
but what does it
But
mean chosen? Chosen for what?
well, yeah, exactly. In Judaism, when they say that they're the chosen people, they're chosen to follow the covenant, right? Those are the 600 laws.
613.
613 laws that they're chosen to follow because they're chosen under God to follow the laws.
What do Muslims mean when they're chosen?
I have no idea. Chosen by Muhammad to marry a 6 year old?
Probably.
I really, really don't know. But I'm
You should
glad
ask
that
one.
at least Christians, and I've never seen a Jewish person get mad when a Muslim says that they converted to Christianity. So all I gotta say is I can't complain. I can't complain when it comes to that.
Hmm. What else are the comments saying?
Leftist children, what will you do when you're under 16 banned from social media?
What?
I don't know, but someone says you're very smart. Good job. They said the Muslim believes in the Holy Spirit. Do you know what the Holy Spirit is? Isn't the Holy
Do
Spirit the
I?
Trinity for Christians? I don't know what it is for Muslims, but for Christians,
Muslims believe.
it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But I don't know what it is for the Muslims. Is it still the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
I think so. Yeah. I think Catholics are throwing Mary a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
funny
crazy.
how the Muslims say that they honor Jesus and they think he's the Messiah, yet they completely trash everything that makes Jesus Jesus, you know?
Yeah. And not to mention, I'm not really a religious scholar, so I wouldn't be able to do it. But I love watching those debate videos when they prove that Islam wouldn't be possible without Christianity.
Well, actually, I'm working on something with a guy. You should check him up on YouTube. Let me get you his name because this guy is actually amazing. We've been working on something called a there's something called the Islamic dilemma, right? Which is how could Muhammad tell the Muslims to go look at the Bible and the children of the book, which are the Christians and the Jews, for proof that he's in there. And then when they said no, they said, "Oh no, he corrupted the book," right? That's the Islamic dilemma, sort of. The Islamic dilemma is sort of that in the Trinity. So there's another guy that I've been talking to who's trying to establish what he calls the Talmudic dilemma for Islam, because you see that a lot of what Islam is just bastardized versions of things that you see in the Talmud, and there's some stuff they took that are direct, like the passage about taking a life is endangering the entire world, and saving a life is equivalent of saving the entire world. They took that and put that straight in there. Copycats,
Yeah,
copycats.
like in the Talmud where it talks about the 3-year-old children, is did the Muslims take that and make it like something that people think it's not?
Well, let's go through what that is. In the Talmud, when it talks about a 3-year-old, it's in the context of one of two things. Either it's talking about dowry, and we discussed about dowry, because dowry is how much a husband would have to pay to his wife, right? That's what dowry is.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're talking about dowry, they discuss what is the difference between a virgin and a non-virgin when it comes to dowry. So a virgin gets a higher dowry than a non-virgin. And then they ask, okay, what if a girl had an accident on, let's say, like she was riding on a horse and then something happened, an accident, or if she was raped, you know, would that affect her dowry? And then they say, well, that would depend. If it happened before she was 3 years old, then since the organ would grow back, it would regenerate, she would still get the higher dowry. But if it happened past that, then she would be a non virgin for the rest of her life. And so she would not get the higher dowry. Now, Muslims probably took that passage, didn't understand the context, and didn't understand that grape and marrying somebody that's under 13 is definitely not allowed and explicitly forbidden in the Talmud. They probably didn't understand that, and they probably took it and incorporated it into their everyday lives. That would make sense. But the YouTube channel is called Defending a Lion. Defending a Lion. The guy's name is Chris Harvey. He's amazing. You should definitely check him out. He has a lot of great stuff,
Wait, is he
and he
Iranian?
explains the. No, he's a regular guy. He's a Catholic, I think, or no, no. I'm pretty sure he's just. I'm not sure what he is actually. I'm pretty sure he's just a regular old Christian, but he debates everything. He talks about everything, and he does something called the Hadith of the Day, which is pretty interesting. Also, I'm telling you, you got to go check him out.
Oh yeah, he's a Christian. What do you think about his video though about Jesus dunking on the rabbis?
I found it pretty funny, to be honest.
Oh my god. I'll check him out. I just screenshotted it and saved it. Crappy
Yeah, we're
prejudice ass wipes. I don't think he's prejudice. What did he say that was prejudice? It's like if you're gonna be outraged in the comment section by something we said, at least drop a super chat so we can engage with you and understand what the hell you're trying to even say.
Oh, I am definitely prejudiced against Muslims. Definitely.
Well, I mean, phobia is an irrational fear, right? How can you have an irrational fear of Islam? How can you be Islamic phobia? How can you have an Islam phobia or be anything like that when Islam, 87% of global terror attacks are done by Islamics? So how can that be an irrational fear to be worried about what would happen if there was like, certain people around you on the plane?
Listen, I actually get along a lot with Quranists. My whole issue with Islam comes from the Hadith. I think that if they got rid of the Hadith, it would be a much more pleasant religion. Again, I might have some ideas about Muhammad, but it would be a much more pleasant religion and much more accepting and much more tolerating and might actually contribute much to society. Now, the Hadith is just pure vile garbage. If anybody doesn't know what the Hadith is, it's the stories about Muhammad that came probably about 200 years later. Vile garbage.
Vile garbage.
But
Vile.
shout out to anybody that's a Quranist out there.
What's a Quranist?
A Quranist is a Muslim that only follows the Quran, and so they respect Israel as the place for the Jews. They think that marriage has to be actually consensual. All the stuff about hitting your wife is completely not tolerated. They're actually good people.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right, Euro, it's been fun, but I gotta run.
Peace out, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
I'll
Let's
talk
do this
with you.
again sometime.
We'll see if we can get someone else on camera, guys. Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Here, let's see. What's up, bro? Thank you for common sense. It's crazy. We have to deal with these lunatics that say violence. What does he say? Violence is an artificial construct. Yeah. Literally, when people get shanked on the bus, the solution isn't to making the bus free. First off, the bus never became free. The subway never became free. The subway prices actually went up $1. And the deal with the violence on the bus, you don't just pay the bus drivers more and give free bus rides to everyone. That's not how you lower the violence. But apparently, that's what Zohan Muhammad Mandami thinks. But that's just pure insanity. But I appreciate you, man. I hope you liked and subscribed. If you wanted to debate socialism politely, that would be fantastic, man. Just go ahead and join that Discord. But socialism doesn't work. Socialism is a cancer for the world. Absolute freaking cancer for the world. I've been to New York like literally over 20 times. I used to go there every 2 or 3 months. So, yeah. I can easily handle New York. I sent the Discord link already. Hey, new flag? Yeah, new flag. If anyone has any video requests or anything they want us to react to, by the way, you can drop a $10 super chat. We'll play it. If any of y'all want to show a little bit of love. Yeah, I had many, many different flags coming up. Oh, I'm posting my stream link? Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm just posting my stream link. I'm sorry, my guy. Oh, we already have someone that joined in VC. Where's this guy? Where are you at, my guy? I'll post a link though. I can't select the Discord. What about right there? Does that work? Hey, I appreciate that, Scooby. Keep your head up too, man. We're gonna win these midterms. We're gonna win these midterms. Nah, America's going up. The economy is booming. Everyone's doing better than ever. Listen, if any of y'all want to debate, go ahead and join that Discord. I'm linking y'all right there. If they actually debate on here, who knows? Maybe I'll actually join on there. Nope. Let me move down. American patriots, we must stop these. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. You can't join. I don't know what to tell you. There's no moderators in here that's gonna let you join. Then I don't know what to tell you. If you can't join, then you can't join. Yes, the economy is booming right now. Absolutely, the economy is booming. Here, you know what? We'll put this right here. Oh, a lot of angry demon crats. Angry, angry little demon wats. Angry little demon Watts. I get it. I would be angry too if I was losing the midterms. I will be angry too. I 100% understand you. At the end of the day, we can't let these Muslim radical extremists come into our country and take over. We got plenty of people. We got literally plenty of people that are coming into our country that are illegal alien. That was a new in the past few years, and they were all radical Islamists. You're loading up your pockets. I'm literally never angry. Why would I be angry? I love my life. MAGA pride? I don't know about that. That kind of sounds pretty gay to me. It's Veterans Month anyway. Only a couple more days. Never said a Democrat was communist. Socialist Democrat was communist, but damn near the same thing. Gas is $3.35. That is cheap. How can y'all be complaining about gas prices when gas is at $3.35? I don't got no hate. I don't got any anger. Why would I be hateful? Why would I be angry? The only one that's miserable and hates their lives and is hateful and angry is Democrats. That's why they're against me so much, because I'm just having fun. I'm living life. I'm young. And all these old ass Democrats are pissing and shitting themselves. They're getting all pissed off that Trump is president. There is a line open. Join the Discord. Pride is a sin, so no MAGA pride. There's multiple Veterans Month, bozo. Oh, bigotry! Bigotry! He just said bigotry! He just said bigotry! I love it. That shit makes me laugh. It's like I'm at a fucking circus listening to you Democrats open your mouths. It's like I'm at a fucking circus. It's fantastic, man. It really, really is. Trump doesn't have to run for president in 2028. He will already be president. Man, I cannot wait for Trump to send in ICE to New York City. That's going to be a legendary day. Absolutely legendary. You are an effing bigot. You are an effing bigot. Just say you're a homosexual. Any grown-ass man that calls another grown-ass man a bigot is a full-blown homosexual. A flaming homosexual. You go to the gay bars on a weekday. That's how gay you are. You don't even save it for the weekends. You just love to express it. Oh, he's a bigot. He's a bigot. Oh my God, a bigot. Oh, you guys are freaking hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. It's crazy. It is crazy. You can still be gay and have children. I know plenty of flaming homosexuals that are married and have children. And a lot of you Democrats just happen to be one of the two. No, Zohan Mandami is not the boss of New York. He's controlled by his Muslim and billionaire donors. He has no freaking power of what's going on out there in New York. No freaking power. America's fantastic. A lot of foreigners are mad at America because they can't even get into America if they wanted to. I would be mad too. I would be mad too if I was Democrat. I would be mad too if I was from a third world country like Europe. Y'all in Europe can't even get an AC. You got libtards in Europe saying the whole reason that you got the heating crisis is because of your ACs. You don't got any ACs. The climate change ain't because of the ACs. Y'all don't got any proper ventilation, or you have ACs, but a lot of places don't, and they're not central AC. They don't have central AC. They just have the AC units, if anything. Everyone that follows and believes in Jesus and that repents to Jesus goes to heaven. So I ain't even gonna sit here and take it that far. But a lot of Qatari money in New York City. Well, communists don't go to heaven because they're Bolsheviks. They don't believe in religion. So obviously they don't believe in Jesus. They're not gonna go to heaven. I love the black swan fallacy because that's how a lot of y'all push away your belief in religion. I mean, it's crazy. Let's see what new news we have here on Ground News. Oh, Arkansas will move forward with a ban on using Snap for candy and soda despite court ruling. Yeah, they don't care if there's a recent court ruling saying we can't ban Snap, we can't ban candy and soda. Because guess what? We're going to ban it anyway, state by state. Let's see. It's sad, but they really want to say mail-in ballots can count for the election day and midterms. That's just messed up. That is just messed up. Iran and USA agreed to halt attacks and renew talks, Axios reports. No, you know what? I'll say I'm against this. I'll say I'm against this. I think Trump should continue to strike Iran. If they want to make talks, that we can make talks, but we're gonna keep striking Iran until they agree to something. That's what I think. That's where I disagree with Trump on. A lot of y'all out there saying, "Oh, you glazing Trump. You just agree with every single Trump thing that Trump says." No, I say we just keep striking them until they agree to something. We have the strong military power. We should just keep striking them until they get to agree to literally something, somehow. Get the likes up though, guys. Get the likes a bit up. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys have any videos you guys want to play or want to request, you can drop some super chats. I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. Make Iran a crater nation. Oh gosh. Iran, America. Yeah, firing rockets. How is Trump a disgrace to America? You want to call in and debate me on that? Does anyone want to call in and debate me on that? I'm just genuinely curious. Oh, a lot of mentally unstable liberals tonight. Are y'all gonna be okay? Are y'all gonna be okay? Or are you gonna have a mental breakdown that you're gonna have Trump in 2028 all year? All year, all 2028, y'all are gonna have Donald J. Trump in office. All that matters is that you're watching. Yes, please make Iran a raider nation. No, I said a crater nation. This is your chance, Democrats. You can call in. I'm sure J Money is going to spam the link, or Gigi is going to put the Discord link so you can call in. We got a couple people that'll call in and debate. Click that Discord link. Let me know if it works down below. You guys are going to have to cope. Democrats are coping with the fact that the economy is booming and that they're losing. Y'all can call me mentally ill all you want, but at the end of the day, I know exactly how many genders there are. There's two genders, and Democrats literally think there's like thousands or like an unlimited amount of genders, which is just complete buffoonery. Just complete buffoonery. Complete buffoonery. You have to go into the vetted chat. You have to get vetted you have to get vetted in the vetted chat if you join the Discord. Yeah, I'm not the one on medications. Democrats have to take lots of medications because they're mentally very weak. That's why they just spew insults out of their mouth because people with high self esteem never spew insults. People that have millions of dollars, they never spew insults. That's only for the lazy loser, brokey mentality. Basically, a Democrat. Basically, a Democrat. No, you gotta get vetted to make sure you're worth my time to even talk to. So you gotta join that Discord. Yeah, this stream is infested with a lot of demon crap bots, huh? Join the Discord. Yes, J Money. Yes. Thank you. Hold on, hold on. How do I here we go. Replace pinned comment. Yes, you can join that Discord right down below if there's anything you disagree. Economy is booming, Trump is better than Biden, and socialism is horrible for all. Let's debate, let's talk, let's message. That's what we're talking about here. Here, we'll go ahead and move this down here. And we'll go ahead and move this up here so y'all can see it a little bit better. There you go. Maybe that's a bit better. Thank you, J Money. Much appreciated. No one about to debate about it. I'm all with you. Trump is not against the Constitution. Trump is not even against the Trump is not against the Constitution. This hat is not against the Constitution. You love this show, man. That's why you can't stop watching. You're gonna absolutely love it when someone comes in here. What did Scott message me for? Does he want to come in? Got me and another person who's down to debate. We're just gonna get Scott in here then. Let's see if he answers. Hello? Can you hear
Yo.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't let that other person in. They haven't been vetted, but I'm sure they're fine. Did you talk to them? Did you vet them?
I talked to them and I told them to go into the vetting chat. That way they could show camera and do all that fun stuff.
That's awesome. What did you want to debate about?
I mean, hopefully we do a quick one because I am gonna do other things in a little bit, but I'm hoping we don't go off too much off the grid. I basically want to
Do you want
fact
to turn
check.
your camera on?
Yeah, let me let's see.
What are you gonna
The main,
fact check this time?
main thing I want to fact check is gonna be the whole Iran deal, and you kept stating that the deal was gonna end in 2023. I say 2030, and you said something about 2 months.
You agreed with me already. You sent the full thing about 2024, and then the full thing expires in 2030. But the
2030. Yeah, let's talk that
but
out.
the
Hang on, let me fix.
nuclear the nuke. Are you gonna turn your camera on though?
Yeah, yeah. Let me fix my camera. How do I look? Oh my god, I haven't done my hair in like days. Give me 1 second. Oh, you wait. room's a mess. So let me blur out the background. That good right there. All right. Can I get the turn camera on?
Yeah, the nuclear stuff ended in 2024. I have it all here, but okay, wait, hold on. Let me get you on camera. Or let me put you in frame a little bit more, I should say. But I have everything pulled up here. It is true that the full agreement does end in 2030. As far as the actually the it says the official expiration is in, let's see. The original Joint Comprehension Plan action for the JCOP did not fully expire in 2024. Instead, it operates on a rolling timeline of sunset clauses spanning from 2020 through 2041, with the official termination of the UN resolution backing the deal scheduled for October 2025. However, because the United States unilaterally withdrew from the accord in 2018 and Iran subsequently stepped away from its compliance, many of these milestones passed primarily on paper, while the reality on the ground shifted significantly. 2022 to 2024, the centrifuges and missile sunsets. October 2023, Transition Day. Under UN Security Council, international restrictions on Iran's ballistic missile program, drone exports, and conventional arms trade officially expired. However, Western powers, the UK, France, and Germany, chose to maintain these restrictions from their own domestic sanctions regimes. July 2024, the JLCP timeline that allowed Iran to begin testing and producing its nuclear centrifuges, the IR-6 and the IR-8 for uh, enriching uranium. And this is what they could use to build nuclear warheads with.
Yeah.
So I don't think there
So
would be much stopping them after 2024 if we would have just let the JCPOA, if we allowed them to make nuclear centrifuges, and they already had 87% enriched uranium. All they need is the body of the nuclear warhead, and that would be the final component. That's all it. That's all you need is the nuclear materials, the centrifuge, and the metal body of the nuclear warhead. But that's a very, very simplistic way to put it. There's like a million other moving components and parts, but that's basically the three main, most difficult parts to put together.
right. Yeah. No. Check this out. So them being able to create a nuclear bomb, horrible. I don't want that. And them eventually being able to create one, like you said, nuclear fuses. They'll probably need a facility, all that. Eventually, probably down the line, they'll get to there. And for the most part, I don't want it. But check this out. When it comes to the years, like, and I'm not trying to tell you, oh, this whole Iran war is good, bad. Yeah, obviously it's bad, but for the most part, I'm not trying to convince you about Trump's decision on going into Iran war. It is what it is. It happened, and I'm not trying to convince you about Trump being making a bad decision on this yet. The main focus I want to focus on is the years. So you did read all that, and it did say how 2023 was the United Nations missile related restrictions. That's all I'm saying. 2023 United Nations missile related restrictions. 2030 was when the JCPOA's major uranium enrichment limits were supposed to last until 2030, and that included the 3.67 enrichment cap. So is it kind of kicking down the can? I agree, yes, but it would be till 2030, which honestly, when it comes to keeping Iran limited from creating a nuclear weapon, that's the important thing. It's time. Time is what's important in regards to trying to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon. We get more time to stop them. That's more time for diplomacy. That's more time for discussions. That's more time to get together with other allies to come with a decision.
Well, how
Shoot, that's
long
more
do we
time.
need? We had 15 years of diplomacy, and that was the first time in history we had any diplomacy.
I mean, for the most part, it's more time for the Iranian civilians to, realize what their government is doing and come
They
to
know what their government's doing. It's almost impossible to overthrow a dictatorship like that. Look at North Korea. There's no way they
right.
could ever overthrow North Korea.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, for the most part, I kind of feel like we should leave it to Iranian civilians to figure out their government. But you're right, it's difficult to have them overthrow that. I don't know if you were in the debate, but it was someone else's debate where they were saying how what they should do is arm the civilians and start giving them weapons from, like, from us to be able to take over their country and topple the regime. I'm like, "Ah, man, that's so difficult to do too." So, is there a simple solution? I don't believe so, because if the solution, and I'll touch on this slightly, if the solution is to bomb them and to kill the leaders, we've somewhat tried doing that, since February of 2020, or sorry, February 28th of this year. It hasn't came to
I
a
don't think we
resolution.
bombed hard enough because Trump keeps talking about how he bombed the crap out of them. I don't think
Yeah,
he did.
yeah,
I
and
think that
I
was
believe
just talking tough. I think that scared them, but I don't think it was really
it really
bombing the
scared.
crap out of them. To be honest, we could have just bombed
Yeah,
the entire country and taken it all out, basically, if we wanted
yeah.
to,
I
or
mean,
we could have just
people have
taken
that.
out the capital city of Tehran. It would have been gone off the map, but we chose not to.
Yeah, I mean, bring people. I believe. Yeah, I've seen you bring up that point of, like, just bomb them even more and take out what is left. However, and I believe Trump even tweeted this or posted on Truth Social, the issue with continuing bombing is, I believe he said he doesn't want to hurt civilians, and
Well,
if he
he's
does
already
that,
hurt a
then
lot of civilians.
correct.
And
Yeah,
plus, already
but I'm just.
100,000 civilians already got injured and wounded during the revolution
Mhm.
in January.
No, yeah, exactly. And, like, what I'm saying is, you wanting him to continue bombing, he's now, kind of going back on. He will say he bombs, like, in different tweets and social media posts, like, he'll bomb them to hell, but then he'll backtrack and say, well, we don't want to bomb them because we're gonna hit the civilians. And the one thing I believe he mentioned was how, if he does that, then the strait will be closed for months, or even I don't know if he said years, but he said something about months. I gotta look at the exact tweet. But my main thing is, like, the fact that even Trump currently is unsure if he should bomb all the hell. You think they should, but then he's backtracking on saying, "Well, I don't want to hurt the civilians," and then I'm like, "Well, honestly," and I'll let you talk for a second, because I want to bring up the point of how people are saying the current deal was horrible. I'll get to that in a minute, but my main thing is the fact that we had till 2030 to come with more of a solution. Yeah, you said we've been doing it for 15 years. Honestly, I mean, that's all we can really do, is just try to buy more time and come to a conclusion of what should happen with Iran.
Well, we're already doing that right now, and we don't have to give them any money or unsanction them or anything like that. But I would continue to bomb them, to put
Yeah,
pressure on them to make a deal if we really want them to make a deal or not. But as far as the strait being closed, yeah, it affects us a bit at the gas pump, mostly in states like California and all those different places. But our gas prices are starting to go down a little bit. And a lot of people complain about the deficit and whatnot. If we pay down half the deficit tomorrow, that's not going to change anyone's lives. But people are really concerned about that. So if they're concerned about that, then they should be happy that this whole Iran conflict turned us from like the top, like number five in oil sales to number one in oil sales. We're the number one selling oil country in the world, as we should be, because we produce the most barrels of oil every day, way more than every other country, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia. It was kind of a strategical move when he took over Venezuela. We were number five, and after we got their oil supply, we moved from number five to number three. And then after we closed the Strait of Hormuz, we went from number three to number one. But you can always make the argument that it's gonna add, a couple bucks. I wouldn't say it adds that much to the pump. Maybe 40 or $50 a month. I would say at
yeah,
most, unless you drive for a living, then obviously a lot more. But that's gonna be covered by your employer. And if you live
yeah.
in California, it's probably gonna be more than that too.
Right.
But that's
Well, I'm
just on
here.
average. But it's still lower, a lot lower than Biden's average gases.
Right. And so, just to give you credit, from what I'm hearing from you, is the fact that, yes, things are bad, but things are getting better. And just to keep it simple, there's a lot of, like, different variables where you could see things being, you know, this whole Iran war was a net benefit. But uh, that wasn't really my argument, or my, like, wanting to have a conversation with you. It was just the fact that, change the whole Iran deal ending in 2020, 2023 to 2030.
Well, the
Would you agree with that?
JCPOA was kind of a failure in my opinion because it allowed them to build their ballistic missile program. It allowed them to build their funds to build what they have now, and it just and also they had the opportunity to move their nuclear stuff around or whatever they wanted to because we already went over the breakdown on how long it really took them to complete the inspections. And also even then there were certain parts of the nuclear facilities that you couldn't go to in certain times that they would swear that there was no uranium enrichment occurring or anything like that, but who really knows? Chris
Yeah,
says, "Hey, Scotty, another top dog from the Discord." Yeah, that's what he said to you.
there you go. What's up, man?
But
Yeah, I mean, I have a talking point for the inspection, but before we move to that part and one other part, the main goal though, the main thing I wanted to, I know I'm not gonna convince you on inspection and tell you how technically with the inspectors that do go out there, they're legitimate and there's ways to find out if they are making a nuclear bomb, yada yada, whatever. The main thing going back, main conversation talking point I want to say is the JCPOA was gonna go until 2030, and like you read in there, it was gonna be sunset clause, and most likely the agreement was gonna continue because the whole reason if they didn't continue was there was gonna be more sanctions on Iran's assets. So the main part though, the 2030, you could agree that it would have gone to 2030, right? Even if you
not
said
really
that, even if you
because
said
they're gonna build nukes as soon as they get nuclear centrifuges. That's Italy. That's the only part they really need today. They were trying to purchase nuclear centrifuges from China and Russia.
yeah, hear me out though. Hear me out.
And even if you go
Say
back to even Israel discovered that they were violating the JCPOA. There's a whole operation that you can look up where Mossad broke into one of the Iranian um, military bases. There was a storage warehouse for military equipment, and they found materials of documents of plans to build a nuclear warhead during the JCPOA. I mean, you can look in. I definitely recommend you can look into this yourself. But I forget what the
yeah,
operation was called. But it was an operation done by Mossad where they found evidence of Iran having plans to construct a nuclear warhead. And this was even
yeah.
the whole time of the JCPOA. So that's evidence right there. Operation Stealing the Reality. Yeah, Operation Stealing the Reality is what it's called.
I'll check it out. I don't want to take up. I don't want to take the live right now to look into and read into it. But I think the main thing going to the inspections was the fact that if you think they were unaffected, for the most part, the U.S. intelligence agencies, the IAEA, and even Trump's own administration repeatedly certified that Iran was complying with U.S. in regards to Iran being with under that 3.64%, which honestly, yes, they're planning to make, if I'm going to look into your claim of
That's what we
them,
saw. We saw allegedly that they were complying after we gave them 30 days to comply for a vetting process to make sure that there is no nuclear weapons. But then again, we
yeah,
have Operation Stealing the Reality, which was done by Mossad, which is an intelligence agency that Americans trust.
real quick on that 24-day delay for inspection, it's a little misunderstood because, let me see, I wrote down here, the site
I can
had
break down the
20,
process again for you, but it's a whole
well, no, no,
entire
no,
process. It takes
yeah,
20.
because that 24-day process only applies to undeclared sites. If Iran challenged an inspection request. So if Iran would have challenged the inspectors to come in, then there would have been a 24-day processing. It's almost as if like if you're like the McDonald's manager and you're getting a call from upper management like, hey, we're gonna come inspect your place to make sure it's clean, and you tell them, oh, no, 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 don't do it, we're not ready, and it's like because you have roaches or stuff going around, and for the most part that's not right either. You should be able to come in, but if it's for a valid reason, like, oh, the plumbing's not good, we want to get this fixed before you come inspect it because we want to make sure there's no mold, something valid like that, then you could tell management and whatever the corporate and McDonald's like, hey, we got to get this fixed, so don't send anyone yet because we're working on this. I think that's the way you look at it. It's almost as if If there was a reason Iran wanted to say, "Oh, don't come in," there's a 24-day processing to to figure out why they're declining for them to not come inspect. That's what it is. And I don't believe there was any real like declining, and there wasn't a 24-day like delay because,
Well, there
like I
was
said,
still some kind of delay. They couldn't just get there right away. I think there still was a 7 day delay, but Chris says Americans trust Mossad. Graham, really, lol. I think our government trusts Mossad. I wasn't talking about the American citizens. I was more talking about the president and the U.S. government. But I don't think any Americans really trust the CIA or the Mossad or any kind of intelligence agency like that. They don't even trust on both sides, both Democrats and Republicans. So I wasn't
I
really
don't get
making
a
the argument that.
yeah. It's interesting how he
And
said that.
also that Hunter X guy, can you tell him to come comment on here with his account again, GG? Tell him to drop a comment on the live stream. I'm trying to see something.
Was that Chris who said people don't trust the CIA?
Yeah, he says they don't trust the CIA or the Mossad. I was just talking about our U.S. government. I wasn't really talking about the average guy. I don't trust the CIA, and I obviously don't trust the Mossad. But if I was going to use them for a source of data on like what Iran is doing, yeah, I would probably trust that. Especially if they had the documents, and especially considering that Iranian politicians have stated multiple times that they can and will build nuclear weapons. If the fact that they found nuclear blueprints to build a warhead in this special operation would not surprise me at all. All those things add up to me. They make perfect sense. And I know y'all are spamming about E. Jean Carroll. That was a lawsuit that Trump filed against her. I guess the judge quoted the motion that it can't be used or whatever. Or he can't be suing her anymore. He lost the
Real quick
case, I
on
guess.
Chris's comment or even your comment about trusting the government, it's like I don't really like. Don't get me wrong, like I don't trust government agencies because like they're not perfect. They're gonna make mistakes. What I do trust though is that there's thousands of people within the government. The how was it urban housing development, the Department of Defense, the European allies, independent experts. Like I go to all of those sources and because they don't commute. I mean, yeah, they communicate with each other, but for the most part they do their own research. And if thousands of people within those organizations are coming to the same conclusion, and those the Department of Defense, CIA, IAEA, and the European unions and independent experts all come to the same conclusion, I feel like that has more backing than not trust, just saying, "Oh, I don't trust the government." The
Yeah,
fact that there's thousands of agencies and thousands of people
yeah.
within those agencies,
Well,
I feel like has more
well,
backing.
General Keegan said Mossad is worth 5 CIA.
What is Masada? I need to look into that.
Mossad is like the CIA for Israel. It's like the
Okay,
most powerful intelligence agency in the world. They
I
like
need to
run
go
a
research.
massive group of spy networks. Super badass, if you ask me. I don't know why they're so villainized. People always make jokes and say, "Oh, the Mossad got me," or "the Mossad did this," or "the Mossad did that."
Oh, I see.
They're pretty badass, though. They're like special
Real
agents.
Yeah, real quick. I don't know. I'm pretty much done. If you want to get someone else to debate, but for the most part, would you still maybe hopefully see the understanding of the fact that Iran would, if they kept the JCPOA
No, I
deal.
don't think this war would have been preventable if the JCPOA. If the JCPOA was so important, then why didn't Biden try to bring it back? Why did he put the Marines and the navies over in the Strait of Hormuz instead of trying to negotiate back the JCPOA with them? He gave them billions of dollars and he still never negotiated the JCPOA back with them.
Yeah, I'm a bit off the top. I did read how he did try to negotiate to get back with the JCPOA, like another kind of deal. But I mean, I don't have it off the top of my head, real quick. All right. Well, if anything, I guess I can't really try to get you to see how the JCPOA would have lasted till 2030, and they
Well, it would
would
have
if.
lasted till 2030, but it doesn't mean they wouldn't have violated it a whole bunch of times. According to Mossad, they already violated it.
Am I evidence and proof of the fact
And
that
if they had
nuclear is.
nuclear centrifuges, they could make nukes even easier.
Yeah, but like I said, they would need 90%, and the JCPOA would have kept them at 3%. You don't see that as a positive.
I don't believe that 3% is real.
Really?
No.
You think what? Even with our inspectors being over there, and they could test out if there was, nuclear particles within their facility or
What
anything
is
like that.
stopping them from doing it underground or at a new facility or moving things around?
The example I gave you a couple of weeks ago, where Syria tried to make a nuclear weapon, and with the help of Israel and the U.S., we bombed their nuclear. They were starting to build a nuclear facility, and we bombed it.
Yeah, I think I think they were enriching the whole time, and it took years and years and years. And when they finally got up to what they're at now, they did what they did.
Okay. All right. Well, I might have a few more talking points because I don't know. I feel like I could give you evidence of how we have imaging, we have ways to detect radiation,
If
and
you agree on imaging and radiation, then you should agree that going back into Iran and continuing this war was necessary. If you agree that, if you agree that, if you think that's true, then you have to agree the war is necessary.
I mean, in regards to the war, I mean, oh, you know what? That's another thing I wanted to bring up. You mentioned how a lot of Democrats or even anti-Trump supporters were saying, "Oh, now you were crying about the deal not being great, and you want us now hey, we're gonna go back in the war." I don't think it's more like that. I think it's more of like, okay, I personally was said, you know what? The deal, what it is, it's a horrible deal. We're gonna give them 3 billion or whatever money. It's not. It's actually not giving them 3 billion. It's more of like they're able to
It's three
our
hundred
investors are
billion,
able.
and it's
Yeah,
unfreezing
our
a lot of
investors
their
are able.
money, and the money comes from the Arab nations.
Yeah, it's investors and people who want to invest into Iran and everything like that. But for the most part, it's not a great deal. But if it comes to peace, I actually was for the deal. I was actually like, you know what? Let's go through with the deal. Iran gets a bunch of stuff. We
I
send
think it
them.
was Operation Desert Storm that we were right at their front door, and then we just returned back home. Was that one right?
I
Or,
believe
or,
it was that
or, or
conversation.
what operation was it where we went to their front door? We were right about to get the terrorist, and we went back
The
home. It
terrorist, yeah,
seems
Desert Storm,
It
yeah,
seems
yeah.
like Americans do that a lot. They get to the right of the front door of the terrorist and then they go home. We need to finally go back in and complete the job. But if we do get a peace deal, I still don't think we lost. But Chris dropped a $2 super chat. He said, I asked Merciful why he left. He said, I ran. Well, that's kind of funny, but that's also sad. Merciful didn't leave. He got kicked out by, or he left because of ACK because he muted him for no reason. But hopefully we can get him back. Yeah, he was saying that was Iraq, not Iran. No, I know that was Iraq, not Iran, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
yeah.
just
We're
saying that it's kind of similar in a lot of ways. We got right to the front doorstep and we turned around.
exactly. Who you got? You got anyone else that wants to debate you? I'll be chill here.
Uh, let's
Anything, but
see. I mean, I'll have to
yeah,
ask the comment section. I see two guys in there, but I'm pretty sure one of them, like I'm almost positive one of them is a troll. So I'm just kind of waiting to see which, you know, who wants to debate.
gotcha. We'll
Well,
chat
you
a
if
bit
you want to
more.
go in the debate VC and tell me which one of them is good enough to debate, that's not a troll.
Right. Who was I talking to? I was talking to where'd he go? I'm still new to Discord. How the heck does this thing work? Great Britain was decent. I don't think he'll be able to. If he's trying to debate to win, he's not gonna win. If he's trying to debate to understand, maybe he'll get somewhere.
What is he like? Is he a leftist?
Yeah, leftist. He was also saying he was for Trump, but then now he's against him because of just what is he saying?
Okay,
Just
Chris, you can screen them. Chris says he'll screen them. Yeah, screen them, Chris. Let me know which one you think is going to be a good debate. And anyone else
yeah,
that wants to join in the debate, you can click that link down below. That says J Money or whatever. You can click in there and uh, and join in.
yeah. Great Britain. Yeah, he was a Great Britain. Yeah, he was eager to jump in, and I figured I'll send you a chat.
I
But
know
yeah,
for a fact one of the guys was trolling in the comments, so I just want to avoid that if possible.
oh yeah. Whoever that guy is, yeah, I wouldn't get him in there.
Let's see what they're. Oh, you guys are so funny. Master,
Master
debaters.
debaters. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, so funny. Is he from England or is he from America?
No, he's America. Yeah, he's American.
Oh, damn it. I love to debate the leftist people from England.
Okay.
I like to debate them sometimes. What debate? I already gave you guys a list of topics, especially if you love socialism. I don't just have a phone number. No, I'm considering how to set up a phone number. But no, I don't just have a phone number. I'm kind
To
of
be honest, I kind of
considering. But a lot of people do through Discord, though, to be honest.
that allows me to either choose a camera, or if people don't want to choose a camera, they don't have to. Especially with the YouTube one, trying to do it through YouTube on mobile, like I don't know, my phone overheats. So
I might just hop off stream for a couple minutes to talk to all the new people that
do it.
joined.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple. So I might do that, guys. Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and do that. If you guys want to debate, join that link down below. And I'll go ahead and hop over to the other VC. But peace out, everybody. I'll be back in a couple minutes when I find somebody.